RatedHTR, you submitted a track pretty early in the game, and I knew you had to go to London and you had a lot of stuff going on, and you were actually apologizing for your take, which I think it was pretty good, especially considering the fact that this is not really your style of music and that the Mixolydian mode is not your favorite mode. You did pretty well with this. There's a couple, notes, well, actually one note that is outside at the very beginning. Outside of the scale, but let's listen to it. Even though it is outside, it adds a cool flavor to it, and I kind of like it. Even though it's, in theory, it does not work, I like it. But let's just listen to that opening. Right there. You're playing something like that second note, third note. This note right here that you're playing, keep in mind the whole backing track is in D Mixolydian. And you're playing this note, which is not in the scale. But it does sound kind of cool. If you wanted to make it correct in theory, instead of playing, you would have changed this note by this note. Let's listen to how it would feel if you changed that note. It would fit right in. However, what you played, I think it adds a cool flavor to it. But this is what you played. It should have been this. Not much of a difference really, but there's that one little. Anyways, the rest of it still sounds good. Even that little part, once again, it sounds really cool. I think if you had a little bit more time, which I know you didn't have, it would have sounded better. You would have more time to prepare it and get comfortable with the scale, the sound of it. As you're working with the new scale, you get to really hear the color of that scale, and that's what is really important when you want to improvise. But given the little amount of time that you had, and given the fact that, once again, that scale is maybe not your scale of choice, you did a really good job. There's some really cool licks in there. And what I'm going to do is simply give you and whoever's watching just a little tip when you're working with a new scale, a new mode, something you're not comfortable with. First of all, know the scale, know at least one pattern of those 7 notes. Get comfortable with it, You don't need to do something fancy, but just kind of get used to the sound of it. And once you did that, take a big blank fretboard, write all the dots that you find. So in other words, I have 7 notes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in that D Mixolydian scale. And each time, the first note is a D. Each time you find a D, just put a dot on any D of the fretboard that you find. There's a lot. And then do the same thing with the second note, which is a knee. Find all the E's. There's a lot. Do the same for all these 7 notes. You'll have a big scale. And once you have that, you're going to build some arpeggios. And you can either use 3-note arpeggios, which is called triads, or 4-note arpeggios. And from each of these 7 notes, you're going to play that note, skip the next note, and play the following one. Skip the next note and play the following one. Skip the next one, play the following. And you can either do that in one area of the fretboard, or just kind of randomly pick some of these notes to create some shapes. And then once you did that with the 7 notes, you'll have 7 arpeggio shapes. And I would play with these arpeggio shapes over the backing track. That really helps you hear the mode. and so forth. You know, kind of don't start by trying to make something musical right away, but just memorize these arpeggio shapes. That's going to help your ear hear the mode, and then try to mix these arpeggio shapes with the actual scale by adding some of these notes, and try to create something musical. But you did a great job. I really enjoyed your take, and I recommend, even though that's not your favorite mode, just keep exploring that, and maybe you'll develop an ear for it, and maybe at some point you'll have the opportunity to use that in your own music and create something really cool. So great job, I enjoyed it, and keep working on this, and thanks for joining the collaboration on mastering the Mixolydian mode. Great job.